Hey YouTube, in this video, I'm going to be talking about what to do to get as fast as you possibly can from off season up until the end of your season. What should you be doing to get as fast as possible? And whilst I said off season up until the end of your season, there is a good chance that you are going to have to vary this, but this should be the main building block of what you're doing. And first off, you have to start off with how many days you'll be training per week, 2 to 3 times a week. Make sure that there's at least a day spaced in between this. So it could be Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and then any 2 days, but with a day in between at least. So like Monday, Wednesday, Monday, Thursday, or Tuesday, Thursday, Tuesday, Friday, or whatever. But let's just do this based off of 2 days. The way you want to do it is you want to break it down into 2 training blocks. I personally do 2 days, and I basically do 2 training blocks as well. I mean, not not 2 training blocks, but I mean 2 weeks as a training block. So it would be 4 sessions. 3 of these are max velocity, and 1 of these is form training. And you can do more training sessions if you want, but any extra training sessions you do would most likely just be form, unless you're later on in the season where you might be adding on some speed endurance, for example. So the way it works is the form training you do is block starts, transition, drive phase, top end speed mechanics, and then you just try and mash all of that together as you train for max velocity. And the reason why this is so efficient is because the form training is essentially like a deload for your body, because you can't maintain the speeds, the intensity that you train at for sustained periods. It's like going into the gym. You can't lift the heaviest amount you can lift in the gym every single day, every single week, back to back to back. You are going to have to take a deload week after a while so your body can relax and come back stronger. And it's the same thing with sprinting, which means you want to do max velocity and you want to have form training as a kind of deload, but an opportunity to improve. Because the reason why we want to have this form training is because your form isn't good enough to allow you to run sub 10. My form isn't good enough to run sub 10, which means you need to get it good enough to run sub 10 if that's your end goal. So the form you're at right now, think of it like this. The form you're at, if your season's just started and your form's improved, then chances are the times that you've got for 100 meters so far in your season will be 0.3 if your form doesn't change. Remove 0.3 seconds, and at best, this is how much you're going to be able to improve by, 0.3, because your body's going to adapt to that form and it's going to cap out. So if this form is allowed you to run 12 flat by the start of the season, then by the end of the season, you're going to be running 11.7 if your form doesn't change, because 11.7 is the speed wall of what you're able to attain with your form. But the reason why 3 max velocity sessions and at least 1 day of form training is so powerful is because you're actively refining your form every single time you go onto the track. Because every single time you do max velocity, you're going to be refining your form anyway. This is naturally going to be happening because you're going to be with your coach. They're going to be telling you how to improve. You're going to be trying to make your form as efficient as possible. But days where you're only working on form are only going to be focusing on your form, trying to improve your ability so you're more efficient. You can produce more force with less effort, and you're able to travel further with less effort. Just trying to be more efficient and effective. And as you keep doing this, your form's going to improve. And what happens is it's kind of like a snowball effect. You start off with small improvements, not really doing much. Then after a while, you figure out how to do those, and the improvements just go onwards and onwards and onwards. And then suddenly you're going to get a big improvement. And then the improvements are just going to keep stacking again and again and again until your season ends. Then after that, who knows? Maybe the same thing's going to happen again, and maybe just improvements are going to keep stacking and stacking and stacking. But regardless, because you're improving every single week, basically every single day over the week is a certain amount of improvement for you. For example, maybe every single day you improve by 0.02, for example. That would mean by 2 weeks, you've improved by something like, let's see, that's about 0.28. So maybe not that much. That's quite a lot. But the point is, the improvements day by day are small, even the days where you're not actually on the track. but they start to stack up after time to allow you to make big improvements month by month by month. And why this is so powerful is because you're improving your form actively from your off season up until the very end of your season. So what happens is, by the time you start your season, let's still say you've proven everything and you only managed to get 12 flat, 11.7 with that form would be the most you'd be able to get. But by the end of the month, your form's already changed. You're basically a different person. So if you was to go race again, maybe you'd already be running 11.7. Who knows? And you still have room to improve because the form you have doesn't feel stable with you. You feel erratic. You don't feel in control like how you did with your other form because you had more time to let that sink in. And what's going to happen is as the months go by, you're going to make massive improvements and not have enough time to control these, because the second you made these improvements, you've gone to work on mass velocity, trying to make your form solidify, make it hard to be able to control it, but you're already still working on your form. So your form's still improving. So you're always left with this feeling of your bucket is half full, but it's never completely full because you never let it get full, because you always keep making your bucket bigger. With your bucket, in this case being your form, you just keep perfecting it. So you never get to hit a speed wall. All you ever have to do is fix your form, improve your form, and improve. And what makes it even better is the slower you are, the more things you can do to work on your form. For example, just stretching alone, that could help your form. Max velocity training, that will help your form because your coach is going to critique you, tell you stuff to do. Form training, specific form training, that's going to help your form. There's so many things you can do that will help your form. Even just resistance bands and trying to strengthen your hip flexors so you have better control. That will help your form. So that means even, which is why you have to make so much progress, because even when you're having your one day of just form training, or maybe a few other days of form training, by the time your training block is done, that one training block for 2 weeks, you've already went through so many different areas to improve your form that your form's improved drastically by the time you've gone through the 2 blocks that you'd get in a month. So by the time the month's ended, you're much faster than how you were before. You feel much faster, your stride length's longer, your stride frequency is better, you're able to push out the blocks better, your transitions better, all these different things are better, but there's room for improvement because you feel slow, and you can make that better. And because you feel slow, you can be better because you feel what it feels like to be fast. You can try and get that with this new form that's more efficient, so you're able to sprint faster. And by the time your season's ended, if you haven't PB'd, it would basically mean you just didn't train properly and you wasn't actually doing any form training, or you just didn't have a coach and you just thought you was doing well by yourself, and in reality you wasn't. Because it's basically impossible to not PB by doing this. You might not PB by a lot because it really just depends on how malleable you are. If you're not very malleable, then this will work in making you faster, but you will eventually most likely hit a speed wall. Maybe you might be able to get through an entire season without hitting a speed wall, but chances are you'd be very close if you're not very malleable. But the more malleable you are and the more you're willing to learn and adapt, the better your form can improve in a season, and the faster you can get your speed to become, so you're able to improve as fast as possible. And from there, the only way really is just up. If you like my video, let me know in the comments section below. Check the description, because anything I forget to say in the video, I always put in the description. And if you like my content, subscribe. Helps the channel out a lot. I post every 2 days at 1 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. If you don't know when that is, just hit the bell and then you'll be notified instantly.